Good morning. Today we'll continue with the chapter Chemical Coordination and Integration. Today we'll discuss about pineal gland and the other few endocrine glands. So in the pineal gland, we can see its location. It is located in the dorsal side of the forebrain. Pineal gland secretes a hormone which is called as melatonin, and melatonin plays a very important role in the regulation of 24-hour diurnal rhythms of our body. For example, it helps in maintaining the normal rhythms of sleep, wake cycle, body temperature. It also influences metabolism, pigmentation, menstrual cycle, as well as our defense capability. Thyroid gland. Thyroid gland is composed of two lobes, you can see here in the diagram, which are located on either side of the trachea. This is trachea. The air pipe through which the air goes to the lungs. So both the lobes, they are interconnected with a thin flap of connective tissue that is called as isthmus. So this part is called as isthmus. The thyroid gland is composed of follicles and stromal tissues, and each thyroid follicle is composed of follicular cells enclosing a cavity, and the follicular cells synthesize two hormones. These are tetraiodothyronin or thyroxine and triiodothyronin. Iodine is essential for the functioning of for the formation of these hormone synthesis in the thyroid, and deficiency of iodine in the diet results in hypothyroidism and the enlargement of the thyroid gland. It is commonly called as goiter. Hypothyroidism during pregnancy causes defective development and maturation of the growing baby, leading to stunted growth, which is called as cretinism, mental retardation, low intelligent quotient, abnormal skin, deaf, mutism, etc. So in adult women, hypothyroidism may cause menstrual cycle to become irregular, and due to hypothyroidism, mainly the cancer of the thyroid gland, sometimes development of the nodules in the thyroid gland. Sometimes nodules develop here, which results in the cancer. So the rate of synthesis and secretion of thyroid hormone is increased to abnormally high level, which results in a condition which is called as hyperthyroidism, and it adversely affects the body physiology also. Exothermic goiter is a form of hyperthyroidism in which the enlargement of the thyroid gland takes place. Protrusism of the eyeballs protrude हो जाते हैं बाहर की तरफ, increased basal metabolic rate, weight loss, and that is called as Graves' disease. Thyroid hormones, they also play an important role in the regulation of basal metabolic rate. This support the process of red RBCs formation, metabolism of carbohydrates, proteins and fats, water and electrolyte balance, and they also secrete a protein which is called as thyrocalcitonin, which regulates the blood calcium level also. So let's talk about parathyroid gland. In humans, 4 parathyroid glands, they are present on the back side of the thyroid gland, and 1 pair each of these 2 lobes of the thyroid gland. The parathyroid gland secrete a peptide hormone which is called as parathyroid hormone, PTH. And the secretion of PTH is regulated by circulating levels of calcium ions. So parathyroid hormones, they increases the calcium levels in the blood. They act on bones and stimulate the process of bone resorptions, dissolution, demineralization. They also stimulate the reabsorption of calcium ions by the renal tubules and increases calcium ions absorption from the digested food. PTH is a hypercalcemic hormone, that is, it increases the blood calcium level. Along with the TCT, it plays an important role in calcium balance in the body. Thymus gland. We can see here the position of the thymus gland here. Thymus gland is a lobular structure between the lungs, behind the sternum, on the ventral side of the aorta. It plays a major role in development of the immune system. It secretes peptide hormones which is called as thymosins. Thymosins play a major role in the differentiation of T lymphocytes, which provide cell-mediated immunity, and thymus also promotes the production of antibodies to provide humoral immunity. So thymus is degenerated in the old individual, resulted in decreased production of thymosins, and as a result the immune response of the old persons become weak. Adrenal gland. You can see the position of the adrenal gland. Our body has one pair of adrenal glands, one at the anterior part on each of the kidney, and the gland, it is composed of two types of tissues. You can see here in the diagram adrenal cortex and adrenal medulla. So underproduction of hormones by the adrenal cortex, it results in it affects the carbohydrate metabolism, causes weakness, fatigue, leading to a disease which is called as Addison's disease. And the adrenal medulla, it secretes two hormones which are called as adrenaline or epinephrine and norepinephrine, or noradrenaline and norepinephrine also. So these are commonly called as catecholamines, and adrenalines and noradrenalines, they are secreted in response to the stress of any kind. And during emergency situations, they are called as emergency hormones or hormones of flight or fight. And these hormones, they increase alertness, they also raising of hairs, sweating, and these hormones increase the heartbeat, strength of the heart, contraction, and rate of respiration. So catecholamines, which stimulate the breakdown of glycogen, the results in the increased concentration of glucose in the body. So in addition, they also stimulate the breakdown of lipids and proteins. So adrenal cortex can be divided into three layers, which is called as zona reticularis, inner layer, zona fascicularis, which is middle layer, and zona glomerulosa, which is the outer layer. So it further has three layers. And adrenal cortex, it also secretes many hormones which are called as corticoids. So these corticoids, they are involved in carbohydrate metabolism. These are glucocorticoids in our body. Cortisol is the main glucocorticoid, and corticoids, they regulate the balance of water and electrolyte balance in our body, and they are also called as mineralocorticoids. So aldosterone is the main mineralocorticoid that is in the body. So glucocorticoids, they stimulate gluconeogenesis, lipolysis, and protein lysis, and they inhibit the cellular uptake and utilization of amino acids. Cortisol is also involved in maintaining the cardiovascular system and kidney functions. And glucocorticoids, cortisol, they produce inflammatory reactions and they suppresses the immune response. So they stimulate RBC production. Aldosterone acts mainly on the renal tubules and stimulates the reabsorption of sodium and water and excretion of potassium ions and phosphate ions. So thus high aldosterone, it helps in maintenance of electrolytes, body fluid volume, osmotic pressure, blood pressure, and small amounts of androgenic steroids, they are also secreted by the adrenal cortex, and they help enroll in the growth of the axial hair, pubic hair, and facial hair during puberty. Now there are various hormones which are released by various other organs of the body also. Before that, let's discuss about pancreas first. You can see the position of the pancreas here. Pancreas is a composite gland. It acts as both endocrine as well as exocrine gland. The endocrine pancreas consists of islets of Langerhans, and these are about 1 to 2 million islets of Langerhans in a normal human pancreas, which represents 1 to 2% of the pancreatic tissue. So the two main types of cells in the islets of Langerhans, they are called as alpha and beta cells. So alpha cells, they produce glucagon, and beta cells, they produce insulin. Now glucagon is a hormone which plays the role in the normal glucose level in the body. Glucagon, along with the liver cells, hepatocytes, it stimulates the glycogenolysis, resulting in the increased blood sugar, that is hyperglycemia. And this hormone stimulates the process of gluconeogenesis, which also contributes to hyperglycemia. And glucagon reduces the cellular glucose uptake, and this glucagon is a hyperglycemic hormone. Insulin is another hormone which is a peptide hormone and which plays a role in the regulation of glucose homeostasis. Insulin, it acts on the adipocyte cells of adipose tissue, and it helps in glucose uptake and utilization. As a result, rapid movement of glucose from the blood to the hepatocytes hepatocytes are the liver cells and adipocytes are the adipose cells, resulting in the decreased glucose level or hypoglycemia. So insulin stimulates the conversion of glucose to glycogen, that is glycogenesis, and the target cells, and the glucose homeostasis is in the blood. It is also by the two insulin, and both insulin and glucagon, they both act as antagonistic to each other. And prolonged hyperglycemia leads to the complex disorder which is called as diabetes mellitus, which is associated with the loss of glucose through urine and formation of harmful compounds which are known as ketone bodies. So diabetic patients, they are successfully treated with the help of insulin therapy also. Testes and ovaries. A pair of testes, they are present in the scrotal sac outside the abdomen in the males, and these perform the function of the primary sex organs. And the endocrine glands, they are composed of seminiferous tubules and Leydig cells or interstitial cells. They are present and they secrete the hormones called androgens and testosterone. Androgens, they regulate the development of maturation and functions of the male accessory sex organs. And this hormone regulates muscular growth, growth of facial and axillary hair, aggressiveness, low pitch of voice. Androgens play a major stimulatory role in the process of spermatogenesis, that is formation of spermatozoa. Ovary. Females have a pair of ovaries that are located in the abdomen. They are the primary female sex organs, and they produce one ovum during each menstrual cycle. And this ovary also produces a group of steroid hormones which are called as estrogen and progesterone. Ovary is composed of ovarian follicles, and they synthesize. After ovulation, the ruptured follicle is converted into corpus luteum, which secretes progesterone. So estrogen provides various actions, including the growth of female secondary sexual characters and development of ovarian follicles, appearance of female characters, high pitch voice, mammary glands. Estrogen also regulates female sexual behavior also. Progesterone supports pregnancy, and it also acts on for the stimulation of alveolar sacs for the milk secretion.